In this video, I get to review a book I've never done, and it's called the Good News Bible with the Apocrypha. They call it the Today's English Version. And this one is hardcover, and you can see the thickness. And we're going to check it out. It is kind of heavy, but it's kind of light as well. Let's check out the inside. So the publishers are by ABS, American Bible Society, New York. I'm not very familiar with them, but you know what I mean. We're going to skip the introduction, the preface, and all that. I did not read all that. But you can see some of the Apocrypha books. Well, I think all of them. And so basically, if I'm not mistaken, it's 81 books. But you do get some additional stuff in the bag. So let's just go ahead and check that out. Let's go and get this over with, you know what I'm saying? So we do have the subject index, which I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on how this go, but in theory, supposedly, it's telling you where all these names, if they're all names, they could be places too, but all the words that it's mentioning is sharing where they all occur. And I can tell that's true. I have some of them highlighted too. Now I do like this though, because it has like for angels though, it has like a bunch of categories for different type of angels and things that went down with the angels. You know, they got angels in heaven, the messengers and agents of God, and then you got the angels of the Lord, then you got guardian angels, then you got guiding angels, destroying angels. So I do like some of this. And then we also have, over here we have devil and his angels, names, Gabriel, you know, so that's cool. That is cool. I don't know if all Bibles do that, so, you know, that might be a bit unique there. All right, let's see what else they give us besides that. We got the map index. Trying to get that clear on there. Ancient world, Egypt and Sinai, divisions of Canaan. And, you know, the maps aren't in color, but not all maps need to be, you know. So, hey, they did what they could, you know what I mean? So, and they got certain maps in certain times too, like maps in Jesus' time, the Old Testament, etc., which is good. And they got a decent amount of maps too. I couldn't even share the other one. So we got chronology of the Bible, which is good. I'm learning more about that because I am ignorant, you know, and I do not need to remain ignorant. Now on the left, they have the date and timeline, and you know, some people and events, or at least people, which is good because I don't know all this stuff. I'm still learning. Now we got right here. This part says Septuagint passages. And then we got word list. We got Nazarite, Jackal, Jasper, Artemis, Astarte, Agate, Acacia, Abyss, Abib, and you know, all of that, Ball, etc. And right here it says appendices, and I guess it tells you everything that's in this back part. The maps, map index, subject index, chronology of the Bible, passages from the Septuagint, word list, and all that. So I got the back out the way. So let's get into the actual Bible. If you haven't turned away. That's funny though. Something I don't like already about this is the lack of space on the left and right sides of the pages and in the middle of the pages. Terrible, in my opinion, especially on the right and the left. You have hardly any space to write in any notes on the left or right of the pages. If you wanted to add in a cross reference, you barely got any space to do so. Now at the bottom, you might have it's a little decent at the bottom, but I mean, at the top, you got space at the top. So the best parts of this Bible to write in anything would be the bottom and the top. And that sucks, but at least you got it. I definitely wouldn't recommend this as a main Bible to anybody. But if you can get past that and you're not as picky as me, go ahead. And we're going to see if they translated Passover. Yup, they did. So Acts 12:4 says, after his arrest, Peter was put in jail where he was handed over to be guarded by 4 groups of 4 soldiers each. Herod planned to put him on trial in public after Passover. The KJV and I don't know if any other translations did that. They probably did, but they translated it instead of Passover as Easter in that spot. So at the bottom you do have some footnotes and looks like cross references, which is a good thing, showing that it is a study Bible, but not the greatest. Okay, so let me go on to some more spots. Now it does cross reference the Apocrypha books too, because I can see here it says 2 Maccabees 9:5 through 28, which is good. And I also like that it says right here, Q from some manuscripts have too, so it does share manuscript information, which is beneficial for a nerd like me, A nerd like me. So now we're at 2nd Esther 6:49 through 51. And it says, then you singled out 2 of the living creatures. You named one of them, let me turn the page, Behemoth, and the other Leviathan. You separated them from each other because the sea wasn't big enough to hold them both. You let Behemoth live on a part of the land that you dried up on the 3rd day of creation. It is a land of 1,000 mountains. So, in the KJV translation of the Apocrypha, they have Enoch there in both spots where I highlighted. But this one has the correct words there. That's what it should be, Behemoth. So I suppose they do have the missing 70 verses in this translation. Let's see. Yep, they do. It comes in right up here. Right after that T. I think that's a T. It says, the pit of torment, the fires of hell, will appear opposite them, the paradise of joy and rest. Yeah. So it does have the missing 70 verses in 2nd Esther, which is good. I didn't know if it had it. I haven't looked in this in a while. Nah, as far as I can tell, in Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, it does not have the missing verses from the medieval manuscript that was discovered. So you won't see that in this translation or version, but it's all good. You can find it in the NRSV if you want to see that. This is Psalm 145. We're going to see if we got the missing verse restored. And I think we do. Did they tell us that? They didn't tell us that in the notes, but it looks like we do. It's either in verse 12 or 13. I think it's right here, because it's just like separated. It says in 13, your rule is eternal, and you are king forever. This part, I think, is from the missing manuscripts they found, or manuscripts they discovered. It says, the Lord is faithful to his promises. He is merciful in all his acts. Let's verify that. Okay, so we're in Psalm 145, and the NRSV, one of them anyway, and the part right here for verse 13, that part that was kind of spaced out and separated, this is what this one says. It says at the bottom, well, I'll just read the whole thing for you. It says, your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures throughout all generations. And then the part that's a little bit spaced down, it says, the Lord is faithful in all his words and gracious in all his deeds. And then there's a B. And then we come down to the B right there. And then it says, these 2 lines supplied by Qumran manuscripts, Greek and Syriac. Yeah, that is it. I just verified it. Okay, yeah, so that is it. That's the missing restored verse that's supposed to be in here because it's supposed to be 22, what do you call it? 22 verses, but it's only 21. And that is the missing verse that they found, and they restored it back. So that's a good thing. But they didn't tell you anywhere, like in any notes. You didn't get any information that, hey, this is the restored. They didn't even. So if you read that, you probably didn't even know. But yeah, that is the benefit. A lot of Bibles don't have that, so that's a good thing. Let's go on to the next. It's Judges time. I'm a little out of order, but it's all good. So we got Judges 18:30. Let's see what we got. Did I highlight it already? I sure didn't. It was a shame, but it's all good. It says, the Danites set up the idol to be worshipped, and Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the grandson of Moses, served as a priest for the Danites, and his descendants served as their priests until the people were taken away into exile. So this one has Moses there, which is correct, in my opinion, based on the Masoretic text. Some translations say Manasseh, some say Moses right there. But from what I believe and think, it's supposed to be Moses when you look at it. A lot of people don't even know about that, but I try to share that in every review. Okay, so now we got 1 Kings 15. We're going to read 1 through 2 and check out 8 through 10 and see what we got. So it says, in the 18th year of the reign of King Jeroboam of Israel, Abijah became king of Judah, and he ruled 3 years in Jerusalem. His mother was Maacah, the daughter of Absalom. And then we're going to come to verse 8, where it says, Abijah died and was buried in David's city, and his son Asa succeeded him as king. In the 20th year of the reign of King Jeroboam of Israel, Asa became king of Judah. He ruled 41 years in Jerusalem. His grandmother was Maacah, the daughter of Absalom. That's perfect. Some translations say that Asa and his dad had the same mom. So instead of where it says his grandmother was Maacah, it will say, other translations will say that this was his mom also, which is confusing, but I get it. The Hebrew word there can mean grandmother and mother, so yeah, but that is a perfect translation. So they did a good job on that. Okay, y'all, I think this will be the easiest way for me to do the ending, or wherever this part in the video will be. But I'm going to read some of the preface. Instead of me trying to hold the camera and be the cameraman, I'm just going to put it there and read it. Okay, how's that? So I wasn't going to read this part, but since I was done with the video, why not? So this is from the first page of the preface towards the bottom of it. So it says, the translation of the books of the Deuterocanonical/Apocrypha was completed in 1978, and the first edition of today's English version with Deuterocanonical/Apocrypha was published in 1979. And it goes into some extra information after that. I'm going to skip some of that. But it's basically saying the man responsible for putting together the Apocrypha, which I won't say his name. And then it also says after that, it says the basic text for the Old Testament is the Masoretic text, which we can figure that out. But then it goes into which one it used, which was the Biblia Hebraica Gartensaya. And then it says in some instances the words of the printed consonantal text have been divided differently or have been read with a different set of vowels. At times, a variant reading in the margin of the Hebrew text has been followed instead of the reading in the text, Kathiv. And in other instances, a variant reading supported by one or more Hebrew manuscripts has been adopted. Where no Hebrew source yields a satisfactory meaning in the context, the translation has either followed one or more of the ancient versions, like the Greek, Syriac, or Latin. And then it also says, or has adopted a reconstructed text, technically referred to as a conjectural imitation. Then it also says, based on scholarly consensus, such departures from the Hebrew are indicated in footnotes. And that is what I found to be important to read. So it could be more, but that's all that I just, decided to read because I wasn't going to get any of it at all. But that I will stop at and just say that that's the review for the Good News Bible with Deuterocanonicals / Apocrypha. And they call it the Today's English Version. And this one I did get for only 50 cents at a local used bookstore. But if you don't have these in your area, this might not be the translation for some of y'all, because I know it's good to have Bibles that's in modern language basically, or modern English basically, that kind of read the way that we talk, which is good. That can help you a lot, but at least it helped me. But I couldn't make this my main Bible. It's good that it has the Apocrypha, and I like some things about it, and I understand some things that they have done, because I would have did some of the same things when it comes to translating and all that. So I get to a degree what they're talking about in the preface, but it's good to know for those who are reading it who may have had no clue or don't. So that's it though. Would I recommend it? Not as a main Bible, but that's my opinion. I'm a picky person. I have to have a Bible that I can that I can write notes, at the top, left, right, bottom of every page. That's just me. You know what I mean? All right. I'm gone. All right, y'all. Peace be to the saints.